In this video, I will show you how to get 1000 active and highly engaged Instagram followers in 2020 and start growing your IG page.
Every day I'm hustling.
Hello everyone and welcome to Equals Cash. My name is Adam and as I already mentioned, today I'm going to teach you how to start growing your Instagram page and get your first 1 or 2K engaged followers fast and completely free. These will be highly targeted and engaged followers. And that's important because once you get good foundational followers, you will have really high engagement rate, which will allow you to grow organically much faster. I covered absolutely everything that you need to know step by step, and this video is filled with value, so make sure to watch until the end if you want my complete blueprint on how to get first 1000 followers and start growing organically and avoid common mistakes. All I ask in return is to smash that like button as hard as you can, because it's gonna help me grow this YouTube channel. I've already covered this growth hack, but since Instagram algorithm is constantly changing, I decided to make an update and show you how to use this strategy in 2020. The strategy I'm going to cover is called Follow Unfollow, or as some people call it, Follow for Follow. And before you leave, because you heard from fake gurus that it doesn't work, I want to mention that I have a network of more than 2.5 million followers spread across 10 different accounts, plus 6 more accounts that my fiance and me started growing in the last few months that currently have almost 200k followers. And I've started every single one of these accounts using this strategy. In my previous video where I covered this method, I've explained why people say that this method is bad, so if you want you can check that out, but basically it's because they don't know how to do it the right way. The number one mistake that people make is using this method to grow personal pages where they post selfies and whatnot. There is a twist that you can apply to grow personal pages with this strategy, but make sure to watch this video first to get understanding of how this method works and how to do it properly. Since Instagram changed some things, the exact strategy that I mentioned is a bit outdated, so now after some testing I've changed it up a bit to make it work great once again in 2020. This is the account on which I've started this method in 2020, and as you can see I've managed to get 1000 active followers in just 10 days. To start things off, you need to pick a niche, create an Instagram account, choose the username, fill up the bio, add a profile picture and let the account rest for at least 24 hours. Next, you want to start uploading posts like a regular user would until you fill your page with 9 or 12 posts. While doing this, start following some bigger pages in your niche, again like a normal user would. Now when you uploaded 9 or 12 posts, you can start warming up your account. Before I go into the warm-up phase, I want to explain how this method actually works for those of you who don't know. Basically, you will find people that are interested in your niche and the content you are publishing and start following and engaging with them. Once you follow them, like some of their posts or maybe even comment, they will get a notification and a lot of them will end up visiting your page. If you have good content, they will start liking your posts and some of them will follow you. Your goal is to use this strategy until you get 1 or 2k active followers, because at that point you will be able to start getting followers organically and stop using this method. Instagram recently started to block people from performing a ton of actions and following or unfollowing a lot of people. New accounts have the lowest action limits, and if you start off by following, let's say, 300 people at once, you will get action block in no time. To increase your action limit, you will need to warm up your account, which basically means start performing actions slowly and build your way up within the first 2 to 3 weeks. The most important thing with the follow unfollow method is finding the right targeted audience that is active and will engage with your content. To do this, you need to go to a page that's within your niche, like for example this page that I'm growing in my 0 to 10k series is a Nordic travel niche, so you need to find big pages in the same niche, go to their recent post and start following people that liked it. Since it's a recent post, it means that these accounts are active and engaging. You want to start by following 1 to 5 people, then visit their profile and like a few of their posts. Then let the account rest for a few hours and then repeat this with the next 1 to 5 people. The next day you want to increase this by following 5 to 10 people a few times per day. Then the next day 5 to 15 people, and so on until you are following 30 to 40 people per follow session and doing a few of these sessions per day. This is the warm-up process, and it should take you 10 to 15 days to reach the maximum amount of followers per day, which should be between 2 and 300. You can follow more than that per day, but in order to be extra safe, I don't really recommend it. Once you finish the warm-up phase, you should already have some followers and some engagement on your posts. To increase the follow-back ratio, you should start following people that already engaged with your content. Simply go to your post likes and start following people that liked your post. This will increase the amount of people that follow you back, since they are already familiar with your content. To decrease the chance of getting the action block, I recommend switching this up within the follow session, and if you, let's say, follow 40 people per follow session, go to your post likes and follow 10 people, then go to your home feed and browse a bit, then go to a bigger page and follow 10 to 15 people more, then go back to your home feed and browse a bit more, then go to another big page post and follow a few people, and so on until you reach 40 to 50 following limit. At the end of this video I will also mention more tips on how to decrease chance of getting action block and what to do if you get one. If you are serious about growing Instagram pages and making money on Instagram, I recommend you to buy old Instagram account instead of creating new one from scratch. Accounts that are 1 year old or more have much higher trust score and can perform much more daily actions without getting action block. There are a lot of people online selling aged Instagram accounts. Price is usually between 10 and 20 bucks for high quality accounts, but make sure to read reviews first. I have my own private seller that I've been using for quite some time. If you want to get aged accounts from him, I will leave his email down in the description. If you choose the right source and done everything correctly, you should be getting at least 1 to 5 follow back ratio, which means for every 500 people that you follow, you will get at least 100 new active and engaged followers. Once you get 1000 followers using this method, you should be getting some good organic engagement on your posts. And if you are using right hashtags and other strategies that I mentioned in my other videos, you should be able to find new people to follow only from your post likes, which will increase your follow back ratio even more. There are things you can do to increase your follow back ratio even more, which I'm going to explain later in this video. Now that you've done all that, we came to the unfollow part. By now you probably have 4 to 5k people you are following and around 1k followers. Simply start to unfollow people directly on Instagram without using any third-party apps. Just go to the following tab and start unfollowing people. You want to unfollow 40 to 50 people per unfollow session and make 1 to 2 hour breaks between the unfollow sessions. In total, you should be able to unfollow 3 to 400 people per day. Instagram recently started to get really strict with their third-party app policy, and people are receiving this message when they use any apps to check who unfollowed them. Because of that, I recommend you to start unfollowing everyone, even if they followed you back. I know it's a bit slimy and all that, but since almost no one is using apps to check unfollowers anymore, they won't be aware that you unfollowed them, so they will still keep following you. There is still a way to check who doesn't follow back, but I'm going to mention that in some other video. Right now you really don't have to pay attention to that, since they won't know that you unfollow them. After a few days of unfollowing, make sure to stop and rest your account for 24 or 48 hours before you continue unfollowing. Continue with the unfollow cycle until your following count is around 1k followers, then rest your account for a few days, and then start another follow cycle until you reach the right amount of followers and your posts start ranking for hashtags and on the explore page. As I mentioned, if you've done everything correctly, you should start getting a lot of organic followers and growth once you reach about 1.5k followers. Once you start to see nice organic growth, simply stop with this method and grow organically from there. Another big mistake that people make is that they try to do follow indefinitely. You can't grow to 10 or 20k using this method. I mean, you can, but it's really slow and huge waste of time. So let me repeat, this strategy works best for getting the first 1 or 2k followers. After that, you will start to get organic growth if you've done everything right. Now let me give you 7 tips on how to increase follow back ratio, and after that I'm going to tell you how to decrease your chance of getting the action block and what to do in case you accidentally get one. Since you are doing everything manually, your goal is to get as much follow backs as possible in order to save time and grow faster. So tip number 1, post high quality content which is interesting to people in your niche and attracts engagement. Once someone visits your profile and see a lot of quality posts, there is much better chance to get the follow back. A lot of people are DMing me asking why they are getting poor follow back ratio, and bad low quality content is usually the reason why. Tip number 2, make sure to publish stories every day, because once you have an active story, you get that circle around your profile photo, which is much more noticeable and attractive once people get notification from you. Tip number 3, go to similar pages and turn on notifications. By doing that, you will get notified as soon as they post something new, and your goal is to start following people as quickly as possible, because people that like content in the beginning are usually the biggest fans of that niche and most engaged followers. Tip number 4, when you go to pages in your niche, follow people that are commenting on their posts, since these are much more active and engaging.
Another one.
If you have some extra time, visit accounts that you plan to follow and check their follower to following ratio. If you see something like this, don't follow them, because they will probably never follow you back. On the other hand, from accounts like this, where they are following more people than they have followers, you will get much better follow back ratio.
Another one.
From time to time, go to your feed and like a bunch of posts, comment on a few, and also check out some stories. This will increase your follow back ratio, because there are a lot of people who probably think you are a bot account that only follows a bunch of people, but when they see that you engaged with their post, they might change their mind. This not only increases the number of follow backs, but also helps you avoid action blocks, because bots usually don't do things like that.
Another one.
Finally, as I already mentioned, people that engage with your content and saw your page will have much better follow back ratio, so focus more on them. Just a quick note before I tell you how to decrease chances of getting action block. I'm pretty close to passing 1k subs on YouTube, and once I do, I want to make a special Q&A video. So if you have any business or even personal questions, leave them down in the comment section or DM me on Instagram. I will be doing a giveaway in that video as well, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss it. The most important thing in order to avoid action block is to slowly warm up your account, stick with limits that I've mentioned, do everything manually and avoid any third-party apps or tools. But there are some things that you can do in order to decrease chances of getting follow block even more. Tip number 1, try to act like a normal user would as much as possible, which means engaging with people in your feed, check out stories and so on. From time to time, swipe through carousels and even zoom in on pictures, because bots can't do that. Tip number 2, every few days stop with follow unfollow and let the account rest for a day. Again, this is what normal people do. Tip number 3, switch between sources in the same following session. Tip number 4, be random and use inconsistent timing, which means don't follow or unfollow the exact same number of people in each session, and also don't perform actions in the same time interval. Just mix things up a bit.
Another one.
As I said, account age plays one of the biggest role in the amount of actions that you can perform. If you are serious about this, consider buying an aged account.
Another one.
Never do more than 100 actions within 1 hour on the same device. Instagram tracks the amount of actions across each account in the app. If you want to grow more than one page at the same time using Follow Unfollow, use different device or a clone app like this one, which will allow you to have multiple Instagram apps installed on the same phone. Finally, I've mentioned this already in my video on what triggers action blocks and how to avoid them, but switch to business account if you want to follow more people per day, because business accounts have much higher action limits. If you want even more tips and to understand better how action blocks work, make sure to check that video as well. The link will be in the description. If you haven't done everything as I've mentioned, or got unlucky and get this message, don't panic. You won't get your account disabled or anything like that. There are different types of action blocks and there are methods to remove them. I have a separate video on my channel to help you out with that. Once you get your action block removed, rest your account for a few days and then start everything again, but slowly. If you want to be extra safe, I recommend you to rest that account from 7 to 10 days and then start warming up once again. I know it's a bit harder to do this now, but it's still the best method to get highly targeted and engaged followers absolutely free and from scratch. And the fact that it's harder to do only means that there are less competition and active account with a lot of followers now worth much more. If you found this helpful, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe and hit the bell icon to avoid missing my upcoming videos. If you come this far, I want to personally thank you for watching my videos all the way through and helping me grow this channel. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section and I'm going to answer as soon as I can. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.